Millions of people right now, seniors, disabled Americans, and families living on fixed income, are seeing a lot of noise online. Headlines claiming more money, surprise increases, or big changes to Social Security, SSI, and SSDI. Some of it sounds exciting, some of it sounds scary, and most of it is confusing on purpose. Today, we're going to slow this down and give you clear answers. Real answers, not hype, not rumors, not panic. Just the truth about what's changing, what's not, and where this idea of more money for SSI and SSDI is actually coming from. Now let's talk about why this moment matters so much. Right now, seniors and disabled Americans are under pressure like never before. Groceries cost more, rent is higher, utilities spike without warning, medications change prices overnight. When you're living on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, even a small change, good or bad, can completely shift your monthly budget. That's why so many people are asking the same question. Am I supposed to be getting more money? Why did my neighbor's check go up, but mine didn't? Why does Social Security say one thing, but my bank deposit shows another? These are fair questions, and if you've been confused, you're not alone. Here's the truth. Most videos don't explain clearly. Social Security updates do not happen all at once. They don't hit everyone the same way, and they rarely show up in the clean, simple way headlines promise. Changes often come through calculations, adjustments, offsets, and timing shifts, not big announcements. That's why this update is important, because there are real changes happening, but they're being misunderstood. Let's start with the phrase you've probably heard everywhere, more money. When people say SSI and SSDI are getting more money, they're usually talking about one of three things: a cost of living adjustment, COLA, a recalculation of benefits, state-level supplements that many people don't even know exist. None of these are fake, but none of them work the way social media makes them sound. For SSI recipients, this is where confusion often explodes. SSI is not the same as Social Security retirement. It's not SSDI. It's a needs-based program with strict income and resource limits. That means when there's an increase on paper, it can be reduced in real life by other factors like housing, food support, medical deductions. So someone might hear SSI increased, then check their deposit and think nothing changed, or worse, that something went wrong. In many cases, nothing went wrong at all. The system just didn't explain itself. For SSDI recipients, the situation is different, but still confusing. SSDI is based on your work history and earnings record. That means adjustments can happen quietly. When records are updated, when Medicare premiums change, or when COLA interacts with deductions, one person might see a slightly higher check, another might see the same amount as last month. Both results can be correct. This is why you should never compare your benefit amount directly to someone else's and assume something is wrong. Two people can be on the same program and receive different payments for valid reasons. Right now, Social Security is also processing a backlog of recalculations and administrative updates. That means some changes show up later than expected. Some appear as letters before they appear as deposits, and some show up with no warning at all. That alone creates panic. You open your bank app, the amount looks different, or it doesn't change when you expected it to, and suddenly your mind goes to the worst-case scenario. Let me say this clearly. Most changes happening right now are not benefit cuts. They are adjustments. And adjustments require understanding, not fear. Another reason this update matters is timing. We're in a period where COLA increases Medicare changes and benefit recalculations all overlap. That rarely happens cleanly. It creates a window where checks fluctuate before stabilizing. This is exactly when misinformation spreads fastest. You might see a post claiming a massive increase was approved, or that a secret bonus is being sent, or that Social Security quietly changed the rules overnight. Those claims generate clicks, but they don't help you manage your real money. What helps you is knowing how to read your benefit notice, how to understand gross versus net amounts, and how to tell the difference between a delay and a denial. Now, let's explain how more money is actually calculated. When people hear that Social Security, SSI, or SSDI is paying more, they imagine a big jump in their monthly check, an extra $100 or $200. Something obvious, but that's not how these programs work. Most increases happen through adjustments, not bonuses, and adjustments don't look the same for everyone. Let's start with COLA, the cost of living adjustment. COLA is designed to keep benefits aligned with inflation. But here's what many people miss. A percentage increase doesn't feel the same as a flat dollar increase. If you receive a higher benefit, a COLA feels larger in dollars. If you receive a smaller benefit, that same percentage means a much smaller increase. Example: someone receiving $2,000 per month may see a $60 increase. Someone receiving $900 may only see a $25 increase. Both are correct, but they don't feel equal. Now let's go back to SSI. SSI is needs-based. It's built to provide a minimum level of income for people who are elderly, blind, or disabled with limited resources. This means when SSI increases on paper, it may not fully show up in your deposit. Why? Because other supports like food, housing, or Medicaid interact with your benefit. That federal increase might be offset by a reduction elsewhere in the formula. Now, SSDI. SSDI is tied to your work history, so it's not needs-based. But even SSDI increases can be hard to notice. One recipient might see a small raise if their Medicare premium changed. Another might see no change if deductions absorbed the increase. This is also where gross versus net amounts cause confusion. Your benefit letter shows the gross amount, what you're entitled to before deductions. Your bank deposit shows the net amount, after things like Medicare are taken out. So your benefit could increase without your deposit looking any bigger. Now, let's talk about state-level supplements. Some states give extra SSI payments, others do not. Some states manage those payments directly, others let Social Security manage them. These supplements are rarely advertised, so two people receiving the same federal SSI could see different payments depending on where they live. Also, when federal amounts change, state supplements might not adjust, or might adjust differently. That creates even more variation. Now let's answer this question clearly. Why did my check go up a little, but not as much as I expected? Usually it's a combination of small changes, a small COLA, a Medicare premium adjustment, a state supplement that stayed flat, a recalculation of past records. All those small shifts combine, and that final number can feel disappointing, even when the system is technically doing what it was designed to do. Now let's talk about recalculations. Social Security regularly reviews records. When they find discrepancies or updates, they make changes. You might see a small increase or no change at all, or a confusing correction. These recalculations are more common right now due to backlogs and system updates. That's why your amount might change without notice, or with a letter that arrives after the fact. Let's be clear, there is no universal bonus check being quietly sent out. No hidden lump sum waiting for everyone. What is real are adjustments, COLA increases, deductions, offsets, and state differences. Understanding this protects you from disappointment and from scams. Now let's talk about timing. This causes a lot of fear. You check your bank, the deposit isn't there, or it shows up on a different day, and panic sets in. A delayed deposit is not the same as a stopped benefit. SSI is usually paid at the start of the month. If the first falls on a weekend or holiday, it may arrive at the end of the previous month. SSDI payments depend on your birth date. Some come early, others later. Your bank's processing times also matter. Some banks release funds early, others do not. That's why people with the same payment date might receive funds at different times. Also, payment delays can happen due to identity verification address or banking changes, Medicare updates, system-wide processing issues. These delays are temporary in most cases. When should you worry? If your payment is a day or two late, it's usually fine to wait. If it's several days late or you receive a notice, then it's time to follow up. Let's briefly talk about Medicare deductions. They come straight out of your benefit. If your Medicare costs change, your deposit might shrink, even if your gross benefit went up. Now, about stimulus style payments. There are often proposals in Washington for one time relief or tax credits. But until something is officially passed and announced, it is not guaranteed. Be cautious of anyone claiming surprise checks without proof. Let's also mention Social Security notices. They're long, they're technical, and they often arrive after a change has already happened, but they do matter. Even buried in difficult language, they explain the change. Your online account may also show updates before a letter arrives. Most problems with payments are administrative, not permanent. They can be fixed or clarified. Panic doesn't help. Understanding the process does. Now let's end with what really matters, your confidence and peace of mind. This system did not suddenly turn against you. Most of the changes people are seeing are adjustments, offsets, timing shifts, deductions, not cuts. When you hear more money, don't assume it means a windfall. Instead, read your benefit notice. Check your online account. Understand your net versus gross. Know your state's rules. Most importantly, protect yourself. Ignore anyone promising secret checks or guaranteed bonuses without official confirmation. The goal is not to chase headlines. It's to understand your benefits well enough that changes don't scare you. You deserve clarity. You deserve stability. You deserve information that respects your situation. If you're comfortable, share your city and state. Let others know what you're seeing. Your experience might help someone else feel less alone.